What's up? What's up? What's up? Boom, from the front seat is upon you. 9 on the grind TV. Today, I got a special one for you, y'all. All the way from the West Coast. My funky friend, my educator, my fashion friend, my beautiful model. She's in the house with us today from California. Yes, 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 yes. Suzanne Sue is with us, y'all. So as always, let's go around and get our roll call. Callie, you in the house? New York City, you in the house? Detroit, where you at? Long Island. Bayshore, where you at? Staten Island. You said you heard from the front seat is upon you. Suzanne Sue is with us, y'all. DC, what's up, Chocolate City? Minneapolis, how you doing? Delaware, are you aware? Pennsylvania, you digging it? North and South Kakalaki. Georgia, where you at? Ohio, what's up, Brenda? What's up, Patty? What's up, Bhutan? Texas, where you at? I need y'all to snap your fingers and clap your hands like this, y'all. Come on. Suzanne Sue is in the house. We'll be dropping some knowledge, sharing her personal story. Oh, yeah, it's a good one. Come from the front seat is upon you. 9 on the grind TV, y'all. My producer today, Mr. Mark Lee. New Orleans, where you at? Oklahoma, where you at? Florida, South Carolina. Shout out to my nephew, Virginia Pat. You better, bro. I need everybody to clap your hands. Put your foot down on the rock and get some of this funk. Y'all know how we do. Nevada, where you at? Oregon, where you at? Portland. Utah, come and get some of this Suzanne Sue funk, y'all. Shout out to my man Victor Taylor. I got you, bro. Hawaii, Samoan, doing the Humpty Hump. Humpty Hump. Japan, England, Dubai, Australia, Germany, Ireland. What's up, Elizabeth? How you doing, sweetheart? DJ Cocolino. What's up, bro? Brazil. Kato, what's happening down there, bro? Germany. What's up, Taddy Soul sister? You know I miss ya. Australia, what's up, Carmen and Wendy? How you doing? I love you. From the front seat is upon you. Our very, very special guest today for the first time. Suzanne Sue is here with us, y'all. You know I'm wearing my West Coast open hat just for her, y'all. What's on your mind, y'all? Stay active on the chat line. Dr. Brookenstein in Philadelphia. I got you, bro. All around the world for the funk. Africa, I got you. North and South Pole, I got you. Brazil, I got you. Puerto Rico, como está? Tokyo, yo. Japan, I got you. China, Ukraine, we got you. Russia, we got you. Lean back and get into this funk, y'all. Oh, I'm hyped today. You know I am. What's up, down to Steve? Benevolent Thumb. Q-Dog in Georgia. I got you. 92416. time to get funked up. Always funk in the front seat, as Bootsy Collins would say. Jump in the back seat into the front seat, baby mama. Nothing but a party, y'all. My producer, Mr. Markley, the man behind the glass, keeping it funky, keeping it fast, always classy, and never last. Give me a thumbs up, Mark, if you stay back there, bro. Oh, man, we got one for you today, y'all. Funk from the front seat is upon you. My very, very special guest today is going to share some really, really serious personal information, share her story. I've been following her for quite a while. We've been friends on Facebook. And, she inspired me to reach greater heights through her story and through her perseverance of her personal tragedy that she went through. We're going to try to uplift some spirits today, peace, love, and harmony. And we're going to actually share some information. And also, she's a model. So we're going to get into a little bit of that thing. She's an educator, teacher for well over 30 years. We're going to get into a little bit of that thing as well. And, one of the things that we were talking about when I was chatting with Suzanne earlier this week is find your color and don't let anyone take it away from you, in yourself. And that's one of her mantras that she goes by. She has also these 14 affirmations that we're going to get into, and we're going to really chop it up today and share some information with some people that might need to hear this, and hopefully it will inspire them. So without further ado, I'm going to make sure my producer, Mr. Markley, back there brings this beautiful, lovely lady on, beautiful spirit. Welcome to the show.
Hello there. Thank you so much for that wonderful welcome.
You're hyped up now, right?
I'm honored. Thank you.
Thank you. I try to keep the hype on, make it real. I definitely pulled out. I have all these different hats from every state.
I love it.
Yeah, so I made sure.
The Packer one, though.
Well, it should be, but these are the colors, and I don't have a Packers hat. I'm a Bears fan, so I can't. But I got your California in there, Oakland.
There you go. That's what I something
from Cali. Accept it. Yeah, you thank you much. I appreciate it. Already, I'm starting out on a good note. So, how are you this beautiful day? And
I'm California? Well. I am well, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for getting up early. I know it's early on the West Coast.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's all good. I went to bed early to make sure I could wake up and be good. So
awesome. How are you and your family doing?
Well, they're good. My younger son, though, is dealing with a bad knee injury as we speak. He had his MRI last night.
Dominic,
praying that it doesn't need surgery, but the reality is it very well could need it, and then he'll have to come back home. He's in Colorado at school there, so we'll see. Prayers up that he heals miraculously.
Yeah, we'll push it up to God and let God deal with that. Yeah. Dominic is his name, correct?
Dominic, correct.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your background, just so my audience that's tuning in, and you guys please stay active on the chat line. Go back and watch this show. It's on YouTube all the time. You can watch your reruns. And thank everybody for tuning in. Tell us a little bit about your background, and how, you got started in the teacher profession, so people can kind of get to know you before we start chopping it up.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I grew up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, from 2 years old to through college, and I had an opportunity to come out to Cal State Northridge in '84, and got off the airplane and said, oh, good Lord, I'm moving back here. And so as soon as I graduated University Green Bay back home, I hopped on a plane and came out here. And I was a nanny at the time. And the first family I worked for, I just really enjoyed their little girl, and I was able to teach her a lot of things, and it was just easy for me to do. And then they wanted me to move to Minnesota with them, and I was like, I can't do it. I just can't. I just came from the Midwest, and but they're like, well, you need to be a teacher. You're amazing. And so next thing I knew, I reached out to a school, and I I said, hey, I'd like to be a TA. And they're like, no, you have all the credits to be a teacher. I said, oh, okay. So next thing I knew, I was teaching, and this was back in 1989, and I've been teaching ever since.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
mostly kindergarten, and that's been the age that I have the most fun with, and mainly because I get to teach them how to read, and that's a life skill they'll never, they'll have for the rest of their lives, and I feel, honored that when they're growing up and they're doctors and lawyers and writers and entertainers, I had something to do with it.
Yeah, that's amazing. The fact that you have molded so many minds and that ripple pond effect, and they go out and spread it over the years. That's why I was so honored and humbled to have you on our show,
Thank you.
because yeah, it's amazing. I always love to talk to teachers, because you guys are the unsung heroes. You should be getting paid the millions of dollars that athletes get.
Yes, I
And I
agree.
say that sincerely from the bottom of my heart. We got somebody tuning in, Bill C, Turner gave love and told me to tell you some love. So, people as they come in on the
Thank
chat,
you.
yeah, it's really, really cool. You have this affirmation that we were talking about, one of your major ones, and it's find your color. But could you actually tell us what that is and kind of say it the correct way so people can kind of get it?
Absolutely. So, about 8 or 9 years ago, I was just going through some, major life changes, and I would be out on my bike. My bicycle was my passion, and I was always riding. And I started taking pictures of flowers on my journey, wherever I was, whatever neighborhood I was in. And so I started posting a flower a day, and I would just say, find your color and don't let anyone take it. And it was really just the metaphor for myself. And I believe for anybody, that don't let people steal your shine. Don't let them take away your joy and who you are. And so through to that journey of finding the flowers and finding the beauty in nature that God created, it really just brought me back to life as a woman. And so that's how it started. And now I cannot not go a day without posting a flower a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what first, attracted me. I was like, who is this beautiful woman that's always like putting up pictures of flowers way before I even get up, and you're on the West Coast. And I even asked you that once. I was like, how do you get your information out so early? And I'm
Yeah,
just
a
not blowing up.
little cray cray here. I get up at 4 in the morning. I'm a fanatic. I got to get my exercise in, but then I want to be the first one on campus, and I get my work done, and it's quiet and no one's around, and so it just became part of how I get down in my work day.
That's amazing, man. You're an inspiration to a lot of people, and a lot of people that will go back and watch this show once they hear your story and they understand, what you've overcome and what you're still doing for other people. And all along, you were continuing to teach, continuing to raise your family, and continuing to be kind to perfect strangers like me. And I really respect that and honor that.
Thank
Elizabeth
you.
just said hello from Ireland. We got people chatting in, and Elizabeth is my girl over there. She spins my music sometimes with DJ Cocolino. So thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mark, could you put some of those comments up, please, if you get a chance? Yeah, so after you got into the teaching thing, and of course you've been into health and fitness and all of that. What prompted you to get into the modeling game? And we got some of your beautiful photos we're going to show later. What prompted you to get into that?
That's a great question. So when I was younger, I actually always wanted to be a model, but I'm 5'2", so it wasn't a reality, especially during the younger days. But I pursued it I was in a fashion model contest at one point when I was in my 20s, and but my father was a photographer, and so he was always using me as his model to try out his new cameras or his new backgrounds, whatever the case may be. And so I just thoroughly enjoyed being in front of the camera that way. And then about 7 or 8 years ago, a friend said, hey, I'm a photographer, would you like to do a shoot? And I was like, oh, yeah, let's go for it. And so we went downtown and did my first downtown LA photo shoot. And from that point on, I was hooked. And I started getting offers from, oh gosh, multiple wonderful, wonderful photographers throughout the years that I've had the pleasure and opportunity to work with. And it's just been, wonderful. And
Yeah.
from that, I met a friend who is a novel writer, and he asked me to be on a trilogy set of his. And so I'm on 3 novel covers as we speak by Ira Tillman. So yeah, it's been a wonderful ride, but things then did change slightly in the last few years.
Yo, that's amazing. See, and these are the things that only people will find out on Funk from the Front Seat. This is why I don't really put a lot on Facebook when I'm introducing my guests, because I want you to come on and tell your story and share it, and hearing it from you, it makes it personal. And I didn't even know that about the novel covers. You know what I mean? I didn't even know that. And of course, you guys can follow Suzanne at follow
Passion. Yes, follow Passion too.
Suzanne. Yes. And so you're teaching, you're modeling, your mom, taking care of your kids and everything. When did you first meet Victor Taylor and getting to the whole fasting thing?
Oh, great question. So April 23rd, 2020, the beginning of the pandemic, or the height of the pandemic, I was out riding my bike, as I did pretty much every day during the pandemic, really just to clear my mind, take pictures. I literally would probably take 100 pictures a day on my bike. So I don't know how much riding I was getting in, because I was stopping every 2 seconds to photograph a flower. But that particular day, things didn't end the same way that they normally would have, me getting home safely. I was crossing an intersection, and a woman turned right in front of me, and I got plowed down and pretty much ended up destroying my right leg and knee. And yeah, my life changed from that point on. And about a little over a month after the accident, and 2 surgeries later at that point, I stumbled across Victor Taylor's website. He does a Mood Ovation website, and he was talking about a lot of the things that were important to me, and I was in this desperate need to help heal myself. I was looking at all the natural ways that I could get better and stronger on my own, and I contacted him, and he was like, "Oh, you've got to start fasting. It is the best thing for you. It'll the autophagy will eat all your scar tissue and help rebuild new cartilage." And so when he told me, I looked into it. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. So I did a first 3-day fast. That was in July of 2020. And, I'm not going to say it was easy. It was a struggle, but I really just persevered, for knowing the outcome and the good it was going to do for me. So any discomfort I felt, I just was able to push it away. And so that was it. And then from that point on, every few months, I would either do a 3-day, 2 days. I did a 4-day one time. But my passion now, I do a 24-hour every week. I was doing it twice a week, but this last year I went back to just once a week. I 24-hour fast, because it does help with the autophagy. And after 16 hours of water fasting, your body goes internally searching for protein sources. And so it's been amazing. Victor has been nothing but an inspiration to me as well, because he's just, boy, when I'm, hey, I'm really hungry and I can't fight over that feeling, it's not leaving. And he would just talk me through it. I'm like, you know what, I can do it. I'm going to go through it. And so I would persevere. So he's just been a really good, strong rock for me, and a great mentor. He's taught me a lot.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because that's how I came across you. Victor, I had on my show. He came on, and, we were talking about the music thing, and I knew he was into the health thing. And I too have had quite a few surgeries. I've had 10,
Wow.
Yeah, I've had 10. And you and I talked about this privately. I won't go into me, but when I saw that other people were doing it, Jennifer, yourself, and you guys are all across the country, all around, and I talked to him about it. I said, you know what? I said, I always did it spiritually, but I never connected the two about the health. So now on every Tuesday, I too am in that fast. And sometimes when you guys do the 2-3 day, I knock that out as well.
Awesome.
So it totally changed my life. It totally changed. Yeah, because I was able to connect the spiritual with the health part of it, and they were disconnected.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's amazing what you said about how your life changed. People don't realize when you go through some type of life altering body event, small or big, it changes your life.
Mhm.
And when you first were hurt and you're in the hospital bed, surgeon
Mhm.
comes in, you have your surgery, and then in the hospital, you get all of the attention and everything else. It's when you go home by yourself that you got to
Mhm.
dig down deep. How did you dig
Yes.
down deep to get going and get that first like step in?
That's a great question. So I would have the first month was extremely rough. I was on a hospital bed in the set up in my apartment living room, and my two sons literally had to take care of me, and really became the mom role and
God bless you.
changing the very basic things of life that you take your independence for, and it was taken away from me. Um, so while I was at home every day, on this bed. I did go through a depression, definitely. And then I hit the 30th day, and I'd been crying probably every day. I cried, I'm sure. And the 30th day, I just literally woke up and I said, you know what? You're done crying. You got to go forward and look at it as you just finished your first month of your 12-month journey. And well, at that time, I thought it was just going to be 12 months. It ended up being much longer, and it's still going on. Um, but I was able to flip the process in my head from mourning myself for what happened to me to, okay, it happened, it's over, we got to move forward. How are you going to get better? And just 3 days later is when I stumbled across Victor's website. Like I said, I was really just searching natural ways to heal, and when he popped up, I was like, this is what I need. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's how it kind of came about. But it's not an easy journey. I've been through a lot in the last 3 years, and
yeah, yeah.
5 surgeries total. So
Wow. 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 Yeah. And I know you've been very kind to share some of your journey with the Facebook public and with people out there. You would always post, "Hey, I'm doing this," or every time I, hit you back, you're like, "Okay, I'm walking stairs," and little bit by little. And even then, you're inspiring other people that may have gone through what you went through. You know what I always want to ask? Um, and again, we're hanging out, with this
okay.
amazing woman, and she's definitely, an inspiration. Suzanne Sewell is with us today, so please, stay active on the chat line. Funk from the front seat. Mark Lee, my producer back there, is working on getting those pictures set up, so we're going to show some of those as well. But did the lady that hit you? Did she ever come and talk to you or apologize or anything like that?
At the time of the accident, she did keep saying she was sorry she hit me. The interesting thing was there was two gentlemen and a woman who also stopped and got out to help, and it was a woman who lifted me out of the street and carried me to the curb. Like literally, she was probably shorter than I am. Just lifted me and carried me. There were two men there, and it was the one. But I know it was my mama who gave her the strength to do it. My mom has been gone for 16 years, but she, lived within me, and so I
Yeah.
just held on to the thought that only my mama was the responsible for allowing this tiny lady to lift me and carry me safely to the curb. It was really a beautiful thing at the moment because I just knew it was my mom. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We have those moments in our lives. All of us do. All of us that are spiritual, some people don't realize the angels that are around us. So
Mm-hmm.
they don't really see it. But those of us that are in the third eye and understand that spiritual realm and the energy see this all the time. We see the angels, we see the people that help us, we know the people that are in our lives for positive affirmation, to help us continue this journey down here on this planet. As my friend Chrissy Quiroz would say, this is where the chaos happens. So, yeah, I love Chrissy for that. That's her favorite thing. This is the planet. Every time I text her about something I'm doing, she said, remember, this is the planet where chaos happens, and it brings
Okay.
me back. It brings me right back. Um, so you're in the middle of having these surgeries
Mm-hmm.
and you are thinking about your future, as we all do when those things happen, right?
Correct.
And what prompted you to? I don't know how long you've been a vegetarian, from what I understand, right? Is that
A vegan.
a
Vegan.
vegan? Okay, a vegan. Okay. What? How long have you been a vegan, or what prompted you to become a vegan? And was it like this whole thing that you kind of put together, as far as
Uh,
spiritual and as far as working with Victor?
that's a good question. So I've before I was a vegan, I was off. I had been off of dairy for probably 20 plus years,
Uh-huh.
and I really didn't eat a lot of meat at the time. But my sons and I had moved into a little apartment, and it really kind of started where I just was making sure they had enough to eat. So I was cutting back on what I was eating, and it came to a point where I just ate like chicken or turkey once a week. And then one day a friend was like, "Hey, I'm going vegan." This is about 5 years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago. And
Uh-huh.
I said, "You know what?" I said, "I've been leaning towards it." I said, "I only eat it one day a week. I can cut it because I don't need it." And so from that day on, I've been vegan, and I love not only the health benefits of it, but just knowing that I'm not harming animals in any way. Just really just inspires me to stay vegan, be vegan. I took my students hear me all day long talking about how healthy I am and what I eat and don't eat. And so they know Mrs. Ann doesn't, they'll come to school with cupcakes for their birthday and bring Mrs. Ann little miniature cucumbers because they know she doesn't eat, sweets. So it's really just been for me my whole life to be healthy. But I cut sugar and probably about 8 years ago. And I probably, eat very minuscule amounts of processed sugar. And the same with carbs, very low carbs. And it's helped my life. Well, I just always wanted to be fit. So it's just always kept my body frame, small. And so that's important to me. And then fasting also helps definitely keep my weight down, especially because um, the rehab of my leg and my knee, the lighter the frame for me would be much better, more beneficial for my the knee and walking on it because it's been a journey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny because and thank you for sharing that. I cut butter out of my and I'm on the almond milk now, and it took me a
Okay.
minute to get used to the almond milk because I'm a like straight up vitamin D. I'm drinking moo cow milk guy, but but I'm working on it now.
Okay.
I'm not on the red meat, but every now and then I will say I have a burger and with bacon because I love bacon and cheeseburgers. But I'm understanding the health benefits of not eating meat, and little by little, my goal is to become a vegan. I said
Awesome.
that all along, and I'm pushing. It's hard because I'm a pretty big guy, and my body craves certain things like salt, this and that. But I understand as I get older, and I want to get more into spiritual realm with the light and understand about not hurting animals. And that's very
Mhm.
key to what you said, because I'm very much an animal lover and I don't want to hurt animals. And I do still like fish, although I know
Okay.
fish is brain food and it's an animal, but I think I'm trying to get to that point to where I can just have fish. I
Okay.
love chicken,
Okay.
but I'm working on it. So you'll see me in that room one
I
day,
love it.
and I'm getting there. So,
I,
okay, ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
love it. That's great.
Yeah, I'm working on it. And again, I'm inspired by you and by Victor, and by other people around me too that understand. Because my friend Chrissy, she's a vegan. She doesn't eat meat, and she always telling me about the benefits, the health benefits of it. So
Hmm.
myself and Mark Lee are working on it, right, Mark?
Hmm.
He's shaking his head like, yeah, right. And we're going to bring him on later because he's got a question
Okay.
for you. We're hanging
Okay.
out today, with this
Perfect.
amazing woman, Suzanne Sewell, all the way from California. And she's telling us her personal story. We're going to show some of her modeling photos on the other side. And we're going to get into affirmations. We're going to talk about Tent City, the homelessness in Cali, and all of that good stuff that's happening out there. But before we do, Mark, I love to hear Keith Jackson's voice. And, we're going to take like 2 seconds just to, honor our veterans, all our veterans out there. We salute you. We appreciate you. Thank you for all that you've ever done for this country, standing
Yes.
on guard
And
around
thank
the
you.
world. I know we have, hundreds of military bases, thousands and thousands of men and women around the world that, you know, protect our flag for what it's worth. And even though I
Absolutely.
don't agree with everything, but, you know, I just want to honor the veterans. Do you have anything that you want to mention about the veterans, or do you have any veterans in your family?
I do not personally have any veterans in my family, but definitely most of my friends, you know, were either in the service or, you know, their family members were in the service. But I just really, truly appreciate that they're willing to sacrifice their lives for our freedoms and safety. So, yeah, absolutely. I honor them.
Yeah, I feel that sometimes the veterans get a bad rap because they're caught in the middle. Because for some it's a job, for some, you know, it's a journey, and
Hmm.
some they just want to go and get that aggression out. And I get all of that. I'm not mad at any of it. But Mark and I live in the same apartment complex, and we live a block and a half away from the Veterans Administration, the hospital.
Okay.
We live by Duke University, hospital and college. And I can't tell you how disappointed I am in our government, the way we treat veterans.
Oh, I know.
They're sleeping in the bus stop. Now they have the hospital, but they're sleeping in the bus stop. They're sleeping on the ground. They're sleeping, you know, in the train stations. They stand in the street and they ask for help. Why do you think we can't get this right?
Wow. I yeah, that's a good question. I just think politicians don't put their money, you know, in you know, obviously the health care for them, the mental health, you know, when they close down a lot of the hospitals, people just can't get, you know, the medication that they would need to um, lead a productive life. So a lot of them end up in the streets, and it's yeah, it's a very sad situation.
Yeah, it really breaks my heart. If I had millions of dollars, I'd probably end up broke still because I just give it to try to help these people. You
I,
know, I try to help when I
and
can.
that's who I am as well. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just but I had just ordered 3 pair of shoes, and none of them fit. They were just, it was just a really strange situation, and it would have cost way more to send them back than it was worth. And I said, you know what? I meant to give them away. I'm supposed to, you know, someone's like, well, just sell them on Marketplace. I said, no, something in my heart is telling me I'm supposed to just give them to someone
yeah,
who needs them. And I did. And, you know, so that's how you go forward. You just do, you give, you know.
yeah. You're right about that. Meditation is a form of just trying to release a lot of the tension, get your chakras right, touch base with other realms, other worlds, other energies, other spirits. And
Hmm.
do you meditate a lot?
I do meditate every day, and at my school, I've taught my children to meditate. So we meditate every day. We started qigong with them, and they love it. And I have one little boy who's got a lot of energy, and well, I'll just leave it at that. But his mom came to me the other day and said, "Whatever you're doing, you know, you're a miracle." She said he has us watching Movily at home now, and I'm doing it with him at night, and it's helping me. And she said he says how he tells her he's capable, which is one of our affirmations. And she said he also uh, talks to her about our brain crossovers, which helps the left and the right side meridians cross over. So we do a lot of things in the morning that help the child become the best that they can be. And now it's getting into them. Now, you know, this just entered our 3rd month of school, and now they're really understanding why we do what we do. But it's grounding for all of us. It definitely helps us, you know, lower stress at school, and center our bodies and get us ready to learn.
Yeah, I meditate every day as well. I just did my meditation this morning when I got up. You know, I have to start my day or sometimes late at night because I keep such crazy hours, but I make sure I give that time to God. I pray, you know,
Perfect.
and that's just me personally. And again, our opinions here on this show are merely our opinions. They are not the opinions of StreamYard or Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or any other platforms that we're on, Twitch, I think, whatever we're on. But I just always have to put that disclaimer out because I don't want to offend anybody, especially our sponsors. And Mark Lee, you know I love to hear Keith Jackson's voice. So right now, hang out with us. We're hanging out with the amazing Suzanne Sewell, and I'm sorry I keep screwing up, but I told Mark not to do it, and I'm actually doing it. So, and he's laughing at me now. We're hanging out, and we're going to come back on the other side and talk about your modeling career and also, this homeless thing in this country. So, Mark, take it away, please, sir.
Hey, this is Keith Jackson with P-Funk Radio, inviting you to check out my brother Zach Robinson with Funk from the Front Seat. Saturdays, 12 noon on the East Coast and 9 a.m. on the West Coast. It all happens on 9 on the Grind TV and also on YouTube. Great guest, great conversation each and every Saturday. That's Funk from the Front Seat with Zach Robinson on 9 on the Grind TV and YouTube. Check him out.
Hey, it's Chrissy Key Rollins here with Holistic Restoration, inviting you to check out Zach Robinson with Funk in the Front Seat. He drops new episodes every Saturday at noon on the East Coast time, and replays are posted for whenever you miss a live stream. You can find him on 9 on the Grind TV and also on YouTube, and get ready for the funk because he brings it every week along with hot topics, amazing guests, and great conversations. Again, that's Zach Robinson with Funk from the Front Seat on 9 on the Grind TV and YouTube. Go check them out.
We're hanging out, and welcome back. Suzanne Sewell is with us today, all the way from the West Coast, which they say is the best coast, but I just call it the left coast. And Mr. Mark Lee, our producer back, Mr. Mark Lee, our producer back there, the man behind the glass. Thank you, Mark. And I know I got to drop 3 pennies in the jar because I screwed up your name at least 3 times already. But I told him not to. And you know how you tell somebody something and it mentally gets attached to you? So yep. he's gonna get me for that for sure. So I'm gonna owe him some kind of lunch thing or whatever. Before we get into your modeling career, I really want to touch base on a serious problem we're having in this country: homelessness, right? And you and I were talking earlier this week, and we were just talking about how bad it is. Tell our audience your story about when you said 10 years ago or 12 years ago you were going to help and going out of your neighborhood, and now it's right in your neighborhood. I love that story.
That is true. So it was about between 4 and 5 years ago. Somebody helped me pay a bill that I needed to get paid, and he said, you don't need to give me the money back. I need you just to pay it forward. And at the time I was like, well, what could I possibly do to pay it forward? And then I happened to come across a post of some woman who said she had a purse that she filled with feminine hygiene, and then she handed it to a homeless woman. And I said, well, I can do that. And I, at the time, had like 12 purses in my closet. I went through, we got them all out, reached out to friends and asked for more purses, and put it on Facebook that I was going to be going downtown, and I wanted to give the purses filled with hygiene and snacks and water and whatever clothing, winter hats, gloves, whatever it was. But at the time, I started with the first trip. I went with 32 purses, and it was a huge success. I had a good dear friend, Facebook friend named Tony Robinson, who took her time, and her brother came out and helped me downtown in Skid Row. And we passed them out. And from that point on, we said, we're doing this every month or every couple of months. And so we would go down, and we would, Tony would cook food, and we would pass out food, clothing, the hygiene, really just basic needs that people needed: hats, gloves, sleeping bags, sweaters, jackets, whatever it was. I would collect them. I would go around the neighborhoods collecting. On my Chatsworth Facebook sites, I would ask for donations, and people were willing and giving me money and helping me in such a way that I had coined it purses with purpose. And it just became a part of my routine for the few years before the pandemic. and it just escalated. People were just handing me money left and right, to be honest with you. So I was going to have that be a nonprofit, but that's when COVID struck, and then I got hit by the car, and then things have changed since then. But yes, I used to have to go to Skid Row to see the homeless. Now they are all up and down the streets where I live in a quiet Chatsworth neighborhood. So it's just escalated. Now the cost of living here is truly outrageous. You can't get a single apartment without paying, close to $3,000 if you were to just move in right now. It's absurd. So I know a lot of people are just displaced because of financial reasons, not even, the mental health or the drug addiction. None of that is part of it right now. I think it's just families have just hit hard times, and they lose their homes, their apartments, and they live on the streets.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And again, I am completely disgusted because in addition to the veterans that we see over here, our rent is constantly going up every year, extra $100, $120, $130. It's almost like we're in our version of the depression that happened, in the early 1900s for this country, right?
Yes.
Food lines, of course, are around the block. And I just don't know how we're going to dig out of this hole. We got, and this is my opinion, and I was telling you this earlier, I think we have way too many politicians. We have way too many. We don't need this many. We got a politician for hangnails on my pinky. You know what I'm saying? We don't. Why do we have to have so many people trying to make a decision when they all need to get paid? And then by the time they make the decision to get money to people, there's nothing left.
Right.
That bothers me.
I agree.
And to have homeless families, on the street, people that work their whole lives and had some kind of major medical or some type of tragedy in their home or whatever, or drug addiction, and we can't judge, and then they end up on the street. How can we be productive as a society if we're not helping these people?
Right. Absolutely.
God says reach out and try to pull these people up.
Right. And I do. And now that I can walk again, I definitely want to go back to Skid Row and feed it. I mean, it's something they need, and they look forward to it. And so, yeah, I miss being able to go there and help out. Definitely.
Yeah, I think that when this next cycle rolls around, whoever is going to get in there, they're going to have to make that their number one priority. I personally believe that if we do not take care of the people on the street, we're already doomed. I don't care about, and I'm very passionate about women's rights. I'm an advocate for women. I got 2 daughters, and that's not why I'm an advocate. I'm just an advocate because I know women as a minority, no matter what race you are, have been treated very poorly, underpaid, underappreciated, and everything that goes with that when it comes to being the mothers of this planet.
Right.
The woman is the strongest species on the planet. And as a man, I can openly say that with gratitude. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a woman.
That's
You
true.
know what I mean? And so when our government decides to look at this situation seriously, instead of, and I'm all for helping other countries. Don't get me wrong. I want to help other people. And I'm Club Funkerty ambassador for Bootsy and Patty Collins. I'm the vice president. So around the world, we try to help people. And I just want to run this ad. Bootsy and Peppermint Patty would like to share this hashtag Funk Not Fight. And this is for all the kids.
I like that. Absolutely.
Yeah. And please share it with your students.
I will. That's funny because Victor and I talk about that as very well, that the funk fans, they may be getting high, but they're not fighting.
No. We're always peaceful.
They're enjoying great music, and
that's it. That's it. We smoke a joint, relax, eat a brownie or something, and we hang out. And I would like to try to do some type of Zoom with your school about this. And I know I can get Peppermint Patty to come on because this is what we're pushing. Yeah. So we'll talk about that later. But I just wanted to run this because you're an educator, and I feel it's appropriate to educate people about funk, not fight. So everybody out there, please share this hashtag, okay? And make sure, you tell people, listen, some of us are trying to help,
Hmm.
but we need more help. You know, in the Club Funketeers, we say boots on the ground. So, and please join the clubfunketeers.com and join the club. You'll dig it. It's a lot of things that we're doing around the world to help. So, hashtag funk, not fight, Bootsy and Peppermint Patty. We just wanted to share that. We're hanging out today with, you know, Suzanne Sewell, and she is an educator, mother, you know, an advocate for the homeless, as you just heard. You know, purses with a purpose. To me,
Purses with purpose.
Purpose with purpose seems to be something that should be nationalized. So how can we on this show and others following us, how can we kind of get this message out? Where would we go?
Well, at the moment, I've kind of stepped away from it only because, like I said, this accident really changed my trajectory. But it's definitely something I still want to get into. So I haven't collected money or purses or clothing in the last few years because of that. I have nowhere to put anything.
Right.
But I also, because of this accident, I decided I needed to find a way to make it positive. And I'm only limited to the woman's car insurance, her insurance limit for bodily injury. She was what they said judgment proof. They said I wouldn't be able to sue her, that she didn't own a home. I wouldn't be able to get her 401k. She didn't have it. If they did, they can hide it. And so, you know, life-changing event to me that has really just changed my life in so many ways. My new goal is to start a nonprofit where I help raise money for other accident victims, because I found out this is super common, that we do only get the limit of the car insurance at the time. And so there's people who probably suffered, you know, obviously worse than me, people that died, and their families get, you know, a third of a 50,000 or a third of 100,000. It just doesn't cut it. It doesn't come anywhere near the pain and suffering and what it's changed me. So my goal now is to really just help other accident victims. So I'm in the very beginning stages of it, and I have to do more research, but I want, you know, to help people and, you know, help maybe pay for someone's college, or, you know, help with some medical bills. But, you know, the way the insurance rates are and how they, you know, we're stuck with their limits.
Yeah. And you know what? We want to do everything on this show to help you. Anything that we can do to help, or if you want to come back on when you're ready, and you're going to be on, you know, I'm going to have you on regularly at your convenience, of course.
Okay.
Because we need to talk about a lot, because you're part of our funk family now. You always were. It's just that I finally met you again in this life.
Nice.
You know, and maybe one day, you know, we can get yourself and Victor and Jennifer on, and we can really dig into the health benefits. That's my goal, to talk about fasting. We'll do that on another show. But I'm so glad you're sharing your story with us. Now let's switch to the beautiful side, the modeling. You know, you post some amazing pics, and I'm going to have Mark, my producer, pull up some of these pics. And we're going to go through them, you know, kind of quickly, but we're going to take our time just to acknowledge, you know, your other passion, and how you've been working with that. So, Mr. Mark Lee, please, sir, if you could make this happen for us. Thank you.
Yes. And these are all pre-injury photos that you see.
Yes. That's a picture of me without my Earth suit, just so you know.
Okay, cool.
People don't know that about me. You know what I'm saying? They think that, hey, what's that? I was like, well, that's me, but I'm in my Earth suit now. You know, I only walk around like that on this planet. For sure. You know, I'm a true funk soldier, and Funketeers, we all know what that's about. So look at that. Where was that at?
That's downtown. Most of my shoots were downtown LA. Yeah. Okay. Because there's some amazing spots there, the Arts District.
Yeah.
And it's changing a lot there, but it's, you know, amazing places to take photos.
Yeah. Mark, hold back 1 second. Go back for a second. I wanted to comment on something. Go back to that first pic. Thank you. You know what I loved about this pic? Besides you in it, I love the shadow work.
Thank you.
If you look deep into it and you look next to the pillar and the bricks that you're standing next to, those shadows actually enhance, your beauty as well. And when, because I have a nephew that's an artist, and he's always telling me, Patrick Henry Mills, shout out, feel better, bro, about shadows and how to use them. And when your photographer is dope because he used that shadow, that time of day perfectly. So I just want to get, now who shot this? Who's your photographer?
That he's my main photographer, Derek Williams. But I've had the privilege to work with, I can't even tell you right now, countless other photographers over the years. So it's been, really just a huge blessing to me. But Derek Williams definitely has been my, go-to photographer.
That's dope. All right, next Mark. Sorry, I'm scrolling
okay.
myself back there, but it's okay. Look at that. That to me speaks, even though I don't know where it is, but that says Italy all the way.
Okay. It's actually downtown as well. And my legs don't look like that right now, but my goal, God willing, I'll be 60 in June, and I'm going to have, scars and all, my legs back.
Hey, that's okay, because you know what? Scars are beautiful too. And you're a beautiful woman.
Oh, I've accepted them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're beautiful too. I got tons of them. Trust me, I know. Next, Mark, please, sir. The wind is blowing in your hair, which I like that picture. That's why I chose that one. I love that.
And that photographer is Robert Barnes. I've worked with him a few times as well.
Okay.
In fact, his cousin is Guy Barnes, and he's going to be playing drums tonight in a session that I'm going to go watch.
Okay, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, small world that we live in.
Hey, that's how we're all connected. We're all one brain. We really are.
Yes.
Love this one. Oh God, yes, I love this one.
Yes, that was in Calabasas in the Mulholland in the mountains. Yeah.
So classy.
Thank you.
My God, that's beautiful. And I love the caption, I'm blessed. Yes, you are truly blessed.
Thank you.
Love the camo. Very apropos for today. That's why I picked it.
Yes, you're right.
See, I'm always thinking outside the box. Love that. Yeah. I noticed in a lot of your captions, you mentioned God and spirituality. And that's something that, we as spiritual light workers, you and I, Mark and Victor, we have to constantly keep doing that. Just to keep encouraging people, hey, there's a high power. Doesn't matter your religion. There's a high power.
Absolutely.
Have you always
I believe in angels? My angels protect me. My mama is my biggest angel, and she's around me at all times.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I see orbs all the time. Have you always been a natural redhead?
No, I was a brunette growing up. But maybe about a dozen years ago, I went red, and I haven't gone back.
Well, let me
maybe
tell
about 10 years ago.
It suits you well, Mr.
Thank
Mark.
you.
Please, believe me.
They say reds have more fun.
Redheads, yeah.
Yeah, that's up in the mountains as well. We have, California is just amazing beauty all around us. Even when it's dry and desolate because of the drought, it's still just an amazingly beautiful place to be.
Yeah. You know what I love about women like yourself that are so classy? Your beauty and your sensuality and sexuality comes through without all of showing your whole body. And to me, that's what it's about. You're so classy with it, and it's very attractive in a higher level kind of spiritual way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's many, many layers to your photos. That's why when I was looking at them and going through them, I was like, I really got a chance to study your poses, what your thought process was, what you might have been thinking about, and things like that. And it speaks a lot. It speaks volumes to your talent and your creativity. You're extremely talented and gifted. Trust me.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. It has empowered me as a woman. It really, truly empowered me to be out in front of the camera. And finding this inner strength that I didn't know existed for a long time. So yes.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're sharing this story with other women. Today we're hanging out with Suzanne Sewell, and we're talking about her career as a teacher, as a model, and everything else. And empowering women in this country right now, we need to make that a priority as well. Because we see everything that's going on that's not correct. Mr. Mark Lee, please.
That's probably one of my favorite photos of all times.
See, I picked it. I didn't know that, but I just felt it. I felt it. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what train is coming?
That was in El Segundo. Yeah. And we went there early in the morning and took advantage that there wasn't anybody around.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That to me looks like an album cover. As soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, that's the album cover right there.
A lot of people have told me that as well. So that's funny you said that. Thank you.
Oh, God. You see, people that know can see. You know what I'm saying? My third eye, I'm like, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Perfect shot. Yeah. Perfect shot.
Thank you.
Perfect shot. Mr. Mark Lee, please, sir.
Yeah. Now you took one of my school pictures, huh? My school selfies.
I love them because, again, just the way you're doing that thing, and I'm not a model, so I don't know. But, I imagine you work hard to come up with these poses.
Thank you.
Okay.
I've been out of it for 3 years now. And so I feel like, when I go back behind and get in front of the camera again, I'll have to, learn what I'm doing. But yeah, it does come naturally once I'm in my element, and I just have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
So scars and all, my goal is to be back.
And and you will be back because that's who you are, and that's what you do.
Yeah, I don't stop. I don't quit.
Yeah. What sign are you?
I'm a Gemini.
Gemini. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cool. You got that twin fire going for you. So,
I do.
Yeah. I love this one, black and white.
Thank you.
Just totally off the chart. Totally off the chart.
Thank you.
Look at that. When I finally get my t-shirts done, I'm going to make sure you can model some and take some pics for me.
Perfect. I would love to do that for you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. We're working on some merch.
Okay.
Right now it's about the budget, but we're working on it.
That was finally getting to the beach after one of the surgeries, not the last surgery, but pre-knee replacement, and just feeling the joy of being by the ocean again.
Yeah, I can see that. It says happiness right there, and spirituality. Something about the ocean is always very spiritual.
Absolutely.
The water, that's
it's
why.
Divine.
Yeah.
That one goes back to Robert Barnes, photographer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grateful, thankful, and blessed. You're always paying homage to the higher power. Love it.
Yes, thank you.
Love it. That one got a little sass to it, which I like. Very classy. A little sass.
I have a lot of sass in me. Trust me.
Yeah, I know. I can see it. Yeah. I love the sassy. Musicians, we crazy like that, but thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing those. I appreciate it. So
my goodness, it's part of this journey. Now that I met you and you're part of the show, and I want to have you back as much as possible because your journey, your story is inspiring. You continue to inspire others. Mr. Mark Lee, I'm going to bring you on right now for a quick second. I'm gonna let you ask Ms. Sewell a question. That you think that you want to ask. And I want to thank you also, for doing your job as well as you do it. So Mr. Mark Lee, producer of Pod TV, as well as my show and many, many others.
How's it going there? Definitely Miss Suzanne. And yes,
Yes,
Definitely,
Miss
Zach was gonna
Suzanne.
make sure that I got the name right and
Thank
all of
you.
that. So yes, I'm giving him a hard time because he was thinking I was not gonna get it right. But Miss Suzanne, one of my good friends, does a show that I really enjoy doing. We actually do it on Fridays, and it deals with color and the
Oh,
importance of color. She's actually an interior designer, Jeanette
nice.
Chadsworth, out in California, actually, ironically, as well. So I just wanted
Okay.
if you could tell me why color means so much to you, because like I said, oftentimes when I'm talking to Jeanette, she talks to me about color and the importance of color in houses and just in life in general. She's oftentimes telling me, because I'll tell her about Zach, that Zach's doing it right because he's got plants in his house. Unfortunately, I don't have any plants in my house currently and all in that space. But I was just wondering if you could share maybe with our audience the importance of color in your life, because that's where I was
Okay.
going.
Well, that's a good question. So for me, really, it was with the flowers. I just see the natural beauty that God created, and I realize that women are beautiful, even when people try to strip that from you and make you feel otherwise. And so, to me, just I like Zach was saying, every day I post a beautiful flower for my morning greeting to my Facebook friends and family, and it just shows that if God created this kind of beauty in the world, that the women are just as beautiful. So for me, it was just finding your color, just finding who you are, and sticking to it, and being happy and joyful, and not letting anyone take that away. So for me, it's just more of a spiritual connection. But obviously, things like the color green for money, for tranquility, things like that. But the feng shui type. The color schemes that they want you to use, in your living simple. But yeah, color just it's everything. I love red. It's vibrant, and I feel alive when I'm wearing it. And so I think you notice a lot of the photos I had on red dresses of different lengths, because yeah, red is
Yeah.
a beautiful color, and of course my hair is red, so yeah.
Cool.
No,
Every week, Suzanne, we honor, or every couple of weeks, we have what we call a hero of the week. And it could be anybody. Sometimes we choose people that have transitioned on, men and women. Sometimes we
Okay.
choose people that are still here. And this week, you are honored as our
um,
hero of the week.
Thank you,
And,
that's so
and I didn't want
sweet.
to say that earlier.
I
I
appreciate
wanted to
that.
surprise you,
Ah.
But every week we have a hero of the week. And this week, Suzanne Sewell, educator, mom, model, beautiful spirit, health conscious spirit, amazing woman, queen. We honor
Thank
you.
you.
We salute
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
You
Thank you.
are our hero of the
I
week.
appreciate that.
And
I
please
love it.
And,
Thank you.
and Zach, since that is the hero of the week, and it's great that is the hero of the week, I think that that's an amazing hero of the week. I did have one more that I had not
take your
gotten
time.
to and everything, but I just had one more. There's a couple others that I might get to when she comes back, but there was one more that I was able to get, and I think that this actually represents her quite well with all of that red, since she did say that red was one of her favorite colors and all in that space. So there's a little bit of Suzanne in that particular kind of way and all in that kind of look and everything. So definitely, I think that fits you. And I'm guessing that red is your favorite color and everything,
Yes.
because you mentioned that. And I know I've got a good friend of mine that their favorite color is green, but I'm guessing
Okay.
red
And I
is
love
your
green
favorite
too.
color.
Actually, I wear a lot of green as well. Yeah. But for my photography purposes, red just stands out, and yeah, and I
My
can rock
colors are red, purple, green, and turquoise. Those are my colors, and blue.
it. That's awesome.
Colors around us, it's seen in different dimensions and spectrums that we only can see in on this level, are very, very important. And I love the fact that you mentioned green for that feng shui and the money.
Yes.
And feng shui, and Mark will tell you, he's been in my apartment. I try to keep it feng shui ready.
Right.
Because when I come home, I always have my music on. I leave it on when I leave. So this way, my
Okay.
plants, they actually love classical music.
They do. You're absolutely right
And
about
they
that.
thrive and they grow and they thank me. And when I come home, I say hello to my apartment and everything in it, because we're all connected. We're all energy. And for those
That's
of you out there watching this show, please today, a random act of kindness.
yes.
Please follow, Suzanne Sewell's mantra. A random act of kindness goes a long way. You
It
had
does.
14 affirmations. And could you tell us a few of those?
Absolutely. So when I first started doing affirmations with my students, I want to say about maybe 8 years ago, I had like just 3, and they were just real basic ones. It was, I am capable, I am intelligent, I am blessed. Well, the list has grown to 14, and we say them every single day. I have them in alphabetical order for the kids. And in the morning, I also sing a morning greeting to them, and I greet each child with this little song. And 2 of my students, without fail, every time I say, how are you today? And 2 of them will say one of the different things like, I am capable, I am blessed, and I am intelligent. Or those, and they will just come out with it. And it's like, yes, they get it. Because I tell them that, the affirmations are who you are. Just like when you introduce yourself to somebody and you say, I am Suzanne, or whoever the child is, I say, these affirmations have to become you, not just words you're saying, but who you are. And it is internalizing with these students right now. And I have parents from years past who come and tell me that their child will be struggling with some kind of homework or something, and then they'll start saying, I am capable, I am capable, I am capable, and they get through it. And so I get the testaments from parents letting me know that their children are definitely internalizing these affirmations and using them.
Yeah. Dick Gregory always talks about the amount of brain cells we have in our brain, billions, right? And and he said every time you put a negative thought into one of those brain cells, it grows into this negative thing, and a lot of us have struggled with this over the years.
We all do. Yeah.
Yep. So I think positive affirmation and every day saying something positive and being positive like that, I think that's a good way to try to start every morning out, or even before you go to bed. What's up, Mark? Go ahead, get in there, bro.
No, I had a quick question for Suzanne, which is definitely, as you kind of alluded to it earlier, I am a lover of nature, lover of definitely a lot of things in the nature space. And I did notice that a lot of those shots that you had were in the nature environment. So I just wondered if you could speak maybe to your own love of nature and animals, because as Zach will tell you, I'm probably walking by, talking and muttering to rabbits and, of course, other neighbors' cats and dogs, because he's looking at me like, Mark, what are you doing? You're over there talking to my neighbor's cat and dog. It's in my neighborhood. It's not even your apartment complex.
I love it. Well, obviously, we're all connected through energy. Being out in nature is just, really energizing to the body, the spirit, and the mind. And again, living in California, you see nothing but beauty. I mean, obviously, there's things going on that are not beautiful in California, but when we get to be out with the ocean there and the mountains on the other side of you, and the canyons, and I live where I teach. We have a huge rock formation called Stony Point, and I used to hike it all the time. I actually broke my ankle up there a few years ago. But to me, it's just really spiritual to be outside, and I just feel more connected to God when I'm out there than when I'm in my house. But it's really important to me. And the animals, as you were talking about, for my belief, I believe my mama comes to me as rabbits, as squirrels, as birds, as butterflies, and they come all around me all the time. They'll come right into my classroom. So my students witness it as well. They bring me angel feathers they find. They bring me pennies that they find. So my connection with animals is when they come close to me, I just start talking to them as it's my mom. And I say, hi, Mom, I love you. I miss you. And so I just carry on my conversations with the animals as my mama is visiting.
I do the same thing when I go to the park. Sometimes I'll see little garter snakes and I'll be like, oh, that's my sister. Or I had a fly in my car for 3 days that wouldn't leave, and I'm driving Uber, wouldn't get out. I was like, oh, that's got to be my father or my uncle who's drinking or whatever. Yeah, I swear to God, the fly would not get out of the car. I rolled down the windows. I was doing 70 miles an hour. It was sitting right there. And my customer got in, and then they said, hey, you want me to get this fly? I was like, nah, he won't go out, And then finally, one day, he was just gone. But I totally believe that. Yesterday, was one of the most powerful manifestation days in 30 years.
Yes, 11/11.
1-1-1-1.
22. Yep.
That's right. And the 22, you break that down, it's
It's
still
down to
1.
11/11. Yep.
Yes. Right. So numerology plays a
Trust
huge
me,
part of my life.
I told my students all about it. Yeah.
Yep. And people wasn't hip to that. A lot of people were, but a lot of people were not. So yesterday was your day to open up that portal and really, really connect with the angels, the spirits, and everything else, you know. And look at the time right now. It's 11:11.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Yep. There we go.
Right. See? Now that's right there. Every show, something happens where I get goosebumps. This is that moment. This is that moment, right? Look at Mark. He's even smiling. He's like, oh, 11:11.
11:11. You hit it
Can't
right
make
on.
this step up. Can't make it up.
Just as you said it became that time. That's amazing.
Yo, I'm telling you, you can't make it up. So let me ask you something, right? Getting back to the political environment that we're in. And we're hanging out today with the amazing Suzanne Sewell, Mr. Mark Lee, my producer. If you could talk to these crazy blankety blank politicians, and you are allowed to curse on the show, so I can say these crazy ass, stupid MNFs and politicians, right? What would you tell them to try to bring this country together?
Ooh. I mean, obviously the division is purposeful, where they literally are just trying to divide us. I think we just need to come together. And I've talked to Victor. I said he needs to do an inspirational, motivational funk song that brings people hope and just a feeling of coming back to life and not living in the fear that we've been, living in the last few years, man-made or whatever it is. So I definitely believe that we just need to raise up our vibration, as Victor always says, but we need to come together. We got to stop dividing. We just have to.
And I actually dropped the song "United We Stand" on Memorial Day.
Yes, I did. Yes, and it was an awesome song. So yes.
Yeah, and I'm trying to, in my own way. I got a song, "Spiritual Purpose Revolution." So I'm trying to bring people together through this music thing that God gave me. So please, if you guys out there watching, hashtag United We Stand, look it up. It's all over Spotify. So yeah, check it out. And I think artists, we have an obligation. I always say it's a gift to be an artist, but we have an obligation to actually write music sometimes that will bring people together. And the cabal, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, the powers that be, the five flamings that run the world, they really want to keep us divided. And they do that through the things that they show. So be careful what you absorb.
I don't watch the news for that very reason.
That's right. That's because it's called television programming. So they're programming your brain. You know what I mean? That's why independent shows like this one, you'll get the real deal, So y'all stay up on it. Mr. Mark Lee, what you got?
Along those same lines, and I was wanting to hear Suzanne's thoughts about this. I sometimes get frustrated, and I've told you this before, when people find ways to divide us and use those division tools to go against us. And I know that happened around the Los Angeles area, because there was a lot of conversation around the way they were dividing the Hispanic and the African-American community because of certain things that were said by certain political forces and all in that space. But I just wanted your take on that, Miss Suzanne, because I do know that was in the news recently, and I just love to hear your take on it as being somebody that was in that area. Los Angeles has been very much at the forefront of what people have been hearing, but I'm hearing it from somebody that actually lives in the area. So I'd love to hear your take on it, as well as what your students' takes is.
Well, I just think it's truly unfortunate, because people are, listening to the propaganda and they're falling for it. I guess I'm guilty of it at some points too, especially during the height of COVID, when we were having, there was a lot of, looting and issues going on. We just have to come together, and we have to just raise up above, like you were saying, the television programming, and truly believe and know that that is not what we're here for, and that we, really, we're just one human race. I've taught for over 34 years, and I've taught everything from Orthodox Jewish schools to conservative Jewish schools to Christian schools to Muslim schools. The only thing I have not done was Hindu, but I believe at the end of the day, we're all God's children, and we all are one race. We're all one human. People are connected spiritually. And so, yeah, I think right now, though, I think people are starting to wake up, and there are, definitely more people are becoming more self-aware, and the veganism is beginning to just really take hold. We just have to raise up as a human race.
Yeah, we do. And I'm glad you said that about One World. Carl Sagan wrote a book that I'm always telling people to watch. In addition to understanding some of the teachings of Sadhguru, and I urge everybody that doesn't know who Sadhguru is to look him up, Sadhguru and Dolores Cannon, and look them up and understand what they're trying to tell us. Carl Sagan wrote the book called The Pale Blue Dot. And his book years ago was understanding the times that we're in now. Much like Nostradamus, much like Bob Marley, much like, all the prophets that we have had, Jesus, all the way through, Buddha, Muhammad, whatever, right? The book of Enoch teaches us that, the Sumerians, the Anunnaki, where we come from, the light. And Carl Sagan's book was based on looking at Earth from space. We're really just a pale blue dot, a speck of dust. And that's why what you just said is so important, Suzanne. The human race is one race. We're in an earth suit. We're all born divine with divinity in us. And society, I think, teaches it out of us.
Right.
So we just had to be aware and be careful.
Yeah, the religious,
that's right.
The religious institutions say it's from the outside, but yes, it's from inside.
That's right. So we had an amazing show today. We're going to wrap up. I'm going to give you the last word. As always, we always give our guests the full screen, the last word, and then we get out of here. We jump in the front seat, blast the music, and we blast off. Today we've been hanging out, and please come back and join us many times. You've dropped some serious information, given us some wisdom, shared your story, your personal triumph over tragedy, and all the good that you do in the community, helping the homeless and things like that. And of course, the ripple effect of your teachings. Suzanne Sewell is with us. So, you've been an amazing guest, and I'm going to give you the last word, and then I'm going to come back. We're going to hang out and get out of here.
All right. Sounds wonderful. Well, thank you. I truly enjoyed being here, and I really appreciate you allowing me to come on. I've been through a journey the last few years. And if I can leave any inspiration, my leg will never be what it was before this accident, but I'm embracing who I am now and what my leg is allowing me to do. I can go up and down staircases now, which, for the last 3 years I could not. So really just don't give up, never stop. Even when things seem really desperate, I just you hang on to that glimmer of hope. And I see it now, and I can feel it now with this knee replacement I had in June. It's given me new life. So yeah, people, whatever hardship you're going through, just keep going and focus on, on the positive, search out the beauty around you, and it's there. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining the show. Thank you for everybody for staying active on the chat lines. And please just make sure that you follow us, and you can follow Suzanne's information on the bottom. Remember, Boots and Patty say #funk, not fight. We're going to have this amazing, beautiful woman back on very, very soon. I want to thank you. And we're going to get out of here with some California love.
Thank you so much.
California love. Oh, California in the house. Turn it up. Yes. West Coast. The best coast. Funk from the front seat, Night on the Grind TV. Our special guest today, Suzanne Sewell. Producer Mr. Mark Lee.
The jazz concert is
New York City, where you at? Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Georgia, North, South Carolina, Virginia, Texas, Louisiana, no love. Oklahoma, Kentucky, Philly, Philadelphia, DC, Minneapolis, Utah, Canada, Nevada, from the first beat, y'all. Hawaii, Samoans doing the Humpty Hump. Tokyo, Japan, China, Ireland. We got people that watch all around the world. Egypt, Puerto Rico, como está, señorita? Africa, Dubai, Germany, England, Australia. Love you, Carmen. Love you, Wendy. Suzanne, I love you, man.
Thank you, Zach. Like that picture.
Victor Taylor, let's get together and write that song. Come on.
He's going to do it.
Funk from the front seat. What's up, Brendan, Ohio? Boosie and Patty, I got you. You never lose it, baby. Funk, not fight.
California dreaming. Soon as I step on the scene, I'm hearing Hoochie screaming, fiending for money and alcohol. The life of the West Side player with cows not is hard walk. Only in Cali will we riot, not rally to live and die. In LA we wear chucks, not belly fits. And long we khaki suits and ride is what we do. Flossing with half crosses.
Throw your hands up in the air, y'all. I feel you bouncing. I feel you out there. I got you. Yo, Brenda, I feel you. California love. Woo! Funk from the front seat. I spent you yesterday. Suzanne Sue was with us, y'all. I see you doing the gritty out there. Shout out to all the veterans today. We love you. Thank you. Shout out to all the teachers out there today, educators. We love you. All the true funk soldiers, 12 funketeers, I got you. Nothing but love for you, Funk from the front seat. Every Saturday, 9 on the Grind TV. We out.
Thank you, Zach.